are you doing, sports fans out there? You know what time it is? It is time to chat about some sports. I am your host, Kendrick, the sports guy. Good Sunday morning to you guys and gals again. Hope you are having a good weekend. It's a little bit cloudy down here in the state of Texas. And it's not too bad. I don't like the cold weather that much, but the weather is pretty cool right now, no pun intended. So again, you're watching the TFG Sports Media Show. I am your host, Kendrick, the best sports talk show on on your social media. Again, hope you're having a great start to your Sundays. But before we get into all this, make sure you come in, like the broadcast. Make sure you share it to all your social media platforms. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channels. That is TFG Sports Media on YouTube, as well as Kendrick Sports Hustle. That's SportZ HUSTLE. Make sure you like and follow both of those on Facebook, TFG Sports Media and Kendrick Sports Hustle. And make sure you follow me, Kendrick Roland Henderson, on Facebook, on Instagram, Kendrick 1969, as well as TikTok, Kendrick Henderson 51. So again, we already got somebody in the house, which is a good thing. We got some football going on over in Germany again. I see. Oh, this is somebody new that's joining. Appreciate you, Texas morning. Just got Texas A&M. It just got okay. We're gonna talk about that. Texas A&M just got talking about Jimbo Fisher. I had already saw that. Thank you, Bucks, Rays, and Bolts for dropping in. Appreciate that heads up on that. So we're gonna talk about that. And before we get to it, again, make sure you come in and like this. Comment. Make sure I know you are in the house. And we're going to get this thing started. And guess what? Guess who's joining me again? As always, my brother from another mother, Mr. Michael E. Coleman, KOTV Sports Director at the ABC affiliate KOTV in Tyler, Texas. Good Sunday morning to you, Mike. How you doing?
What's going on, Roland? You know, it's a good Sunday. My my bride's in town, so it's our anniversary today. So we've had a good time. She goes back tomorrow, so it's been a nice weekend.
Well, happy anniversary to you and the missus. Make sure you pass that message along to her.
Sure will.
You know, y'all one of my favorite couples. You know that. So that's what's up. So again, y'all make sure y'all come in and like and share and comment on this broadcast. First of all, we got breaking news. We had talked off cam. A watcher already had put it in the comment. It looks like Jimbo Fisher is out at Texas A&M after 6 seasons. And they're going to owe him a little bit of bread, Mike. What's your thoughts on A&M pulling the plug on Jimbo Fisher?
I mean, only in college sports as a coach can you get paid to leave. It's crazy. I mean, so I never feel sorry for these coaches when they get fired, because they got a big windfall waiting for them. But for Jimbo Fisher, who is a trash talker, he's just over a year ago, he and Saban had words back and forth. And I just think they overestimated Jimbo Fisher. See, there are only a handful of coaches who can stay in the game and be somewhat prominent for a long period of time. That's a short list. I mean, it's like the NFL draft. Only a handful of players are going to be all that. Everybody else is just you roll the dice on. And I think that's what you do with coaches. And I think in Jimbo Fisher's case, they've given him everything that you would think a coach would want at Texas A&M, because they're all about trying to be number one and all that. And with all the resources they gave him, all the money they gave him, heck, we had a hometown kid who said, I can't play for this guy, Haynes King. He went on to Georgia Tech. Yeah, that's right.
He transferred.
He went on to Georgia Tech. And
you're right. Yeah.
And I on social media, somebody was keeping a tally of Jimbo Fisher's record. And that the point they were making, because they were comparing him to Kevin Sumlin, and the point they were making was, you got rid of Sumlin with the record he has, and you've let Jimbo Fisher continually get worse and keep him. So they finally got tired. I don't even know. Did they win yesterday? They must not have won yesterday.
Yeah, A&M won. They won 51-10 over Mississippi State.
They? Wow.
Yeah,
whoa,
they did.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
okay.
That's crazy.
It's rare to see a coach get fired after he wins a game. He must have upset somebody. He pissed somebody off, after the game. That's one thing I think of. But A&M is a program that's been trying to live up to the University of Texas stature for years, and then they go to the SEC and they really have done no better than what fifth or sixth in the SEC, and you know, and with the landscape of college ball changing with the NILs, the transfer portals, and all of that, like I said, he's had all the resources. He just didn't deliver.
He's getting ready to back a Brinks truck up into his driveway because they owe him $76 million. If they're gonna owe him $76 million. He's been there 6 seasons. His record at A&M 45 and 25. That's not bad. But they never won the SEC West, nor did they ever play in a college football playoff in 6 seasons. So when you're paying a coach that kind of bread, you got to bring something to the table. If we just filling in the middle, you know, we finishing up in the middle of the pack, that's just not good enough. So I was kind of shocked when I saw that. I kind of had a feeling he was on a hot seat, but I didn't think he was going to be this season.
And from what I'm reading here, he's got 8 years left in this contract. That's the problem.
Right, because they redid it. Yeah, they redid it 2 years ago. Wow, yeah, they gave him an extension.
Wow,
yeah.
Wow. You know, and maybe they did it. Was that 2 years ago when they took who did they play in that quadruple overtime game when they won? And the kid from Frankston was the hero. Right. It wasn't Alabama. Was it Alabama?
No, I don't think it wasn't Alabama. I know what game you're talking about. I can't.
But it seems like, oh man, we won this game. Let's extend this deal. Right. We got a great future in front of us. It's tough to coach there. If you go to a place where the expectations are off the wall, first of all, you need to, if you're the guy, if you are confident in who you are and what you can bring to the table, you need to like squash the expectations. Hey, just because I did this over at University X, this is a whole different beast now. I got to shake people's hands. I got to talk to sponsors. There's more to it at a program like A&M and Texas and all the Power 5 power schools. There's more than just coaching. You got to go out and shake hands with people. You got to talk to sponsors because they just want to know. They want to be able to say, I got to shake hands with Jimbo Fisher, you know. Plus, you're a grown man being called Jimbo. I mean, that's right there.
Right. So, again, a breaking news. According to reports, they're saying Jimbo Fisher is out at A&M. It hasn't been confirmed by ESPN yet, but that's not saying it hadn't happened. But according to reports that A&M is expected to fire Jimbo Fisher. Also, real quick, we're going to get into the NFL. Bucks, Braves, and Bolts was asking about Jim Harbaugh. Obviously, he wasn't able to coach yesterday. Michigan got the big win over Penn State. Bucks, Braves, Bolts says he think the Michigan coach think he needs to go, not suspended. I'm a hold judgment because the NCAA is still investigating this whole stealing signs thing. So I'm not saying that he should be gone. Maybe it's suspension. Actually, the Big Ten is the one that suspended him. The NCAA hadn't done anything yet. They're still investigating. So I'm going to hold judgment on Jim Harbaugh just yet until all the facts are out there because we don't know if he was involved in this or not.
Well, one thing about Jim Harbaugh, he's been known to rub people the wrong way, whatever that means. But in the same breath, he wins. Okay? He wins. Yeah. And this stealing sign stuff, I don't even get it.
I don't either. I don't.
That's
why I hadn't even talked about it that much because I'm like,
you swap game tape. You swap game tape. I mean, that's just a natural thing, and I just think it's ridiculous. It's got somebody. He's really upset. He has really upset somebody at Michigan because this dude wins. Yeah, that's what he does. He recruits and he wins. And I just think they want him out of the conference or out of Michigan. And I know I think he tried to go to Minnesota last year, or he interviewed for the job or something like that.
Interviewed, yeah, he did.
He'll be a hot commodity because in the NFL they don't care what you say. So you know how to steal signs. Okay.
He'll be back. I think people forget that he was the 49ers coach and took them to the Super Bowl.
And he's one of the few coaches.
Kaepernick. And I think people forget about that.
Oh well, when it comes to Kaepernick, that's what they want to. They want to forget about it, but you can't. He's one of the few coaches, right? He's one of the few coaches who's played in the league and became successful as a coach. Mike Ditka played in the league. Mike Ditka got a Super Bowl. Hey, Harbaugh played in Chicago and got to a Super Bowl with San Francisco, and so he's just a different kind of guy that he's going to turn a program around. So I can't wait to see him in the NFL. I know that hadn't happened yet, but they don't care about sign stealings in the NFL. They just want to know you get results with Jim Harbaugh, and that's what you have to understand.
That's what you get, and you know that. So we'll see what happens with that. So that's a little bit of our college again. Breaking news, Jimbo Fisher. Make sure you come in, like, subscribe, and share this to your social media platforms. All right, Mike. Let's get to the NFL. We're in week 10 now. We you know, it's getting down to the nitty gritty, as they used to say, and we got some big games. We got, well, I would say probably the biggest game today, or at least the noon game, in my opinion. You got those Ravens, the Browns at the Ravens. I think a lot of people aren't talking about the Ravens, but right now they've put together a pretty good win streak, and they balling out both sides of the ball. Mike, what you think about this Browns-Ravens matchup?
I think it's a good matchup because it's AFC North, where anything can happen despite the records. And it's a very physical division. And I think the top teams in the AFC, I don't have Kansas City number 1.
Okay.
I got the Ravens number 1. I got Jacksonville number 2.
Oh, wow.
Jacksonville's got a win streak going.
Well, they're going to be tested today. So
they're going to get tested. And here's the thing. And I was just thinking about this earlier this morning, that the NFL, the games this year ain't really been popping like they had last year. It's just something different about this year. I'm not sure what it is, because you just see a lot of ugly football this year, a lot of ugly football. And but I like the Ravens because they're doing it quietly. They're you don't hear the commentators so much talk about Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, which is good. But I like the Ravens, and I think they're going to do some stuff down the stretch. And I just think today's game is going to be the first step headed towards the stretch in terms of a win.
Right. Well, right now we got a game in Germany going on. We got the Colts at the Patriots. The Colts are up 7-3 in the third quarter. So a couple of other noon games, Mike, just to get your thoughts on this. We got the Texans at the Bengals, the Saints at the Vikings, my Packers at the Steelers, which I'm going to have my eye on. The Titans at the Bucks. Again, the one you mentioned the Jaguars. Niners at Jacksonville. Again, the Browns at the Ravens. Outside of the Browns and Ravens, which I'll be picking in, I'm definitely going to be picking in the Packers and Steelers. I gotta say, man, that Texans at Bengals, because I want to see if this kid C.J. Stroud, he had a hell of a game last week. We're going to see if he can do it two weeks in a row.
He's had – I think he's had a really good. This was a debate days ago, and he should be in the MVP conversation. Forget the wins and losses. Although Texans, they 4-4. All right, they 4-4. But he's played really well. He's played very composed. And I read on that last drive last week when they won that game, he told the offensive lineman, "Hold your blocks a little longer." How do you say it? I want to put these guys to bed. I mean, he talked with confidence. They rallied around him. So they're a reclamation project, and they're doing very, very well. D'Amico Ryans he's all these advertised to be, just his first year, and so that's going to be an interesting game. And I'm not going to be surprised if the Texans push the Bengals. The Bengals are missing Jamar Chase, I think.
They say he's going to be a game. Yeah, he's going to be a game time decision with Chase. I just read that, so we're going to see. My man Jesse J, thanks for dropping in. He says he likes the Browns on this one. He likes the Browns beating the Ravens. Okay, Jesse J, I can see that because both of those teams' defenses are like in the top 5. When
they are, they're hard. They're hardcore.
So they balling right now. Jesse J also says CJ is the best rookie this year, hands down. Totally agree with you on Jesse.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think it's his award to win. I mean, to lose rather. I don't see nobody else beating him. Jesse J asks, how do you like Jordan Love against the Steelers defense? I don't, Jesse. I don't. Because the Steelers defense, that's the one thing about this team. Their offense might be sputtering, but their defense always going to be on top of their game. So no, I don't like Love to have and it's in Pittsburgh. I don't see him having. I think he's going to have another up and down game. What you think, Mike?
Well, the Steelers are not going to show him his last name. Ain't gonna be no love.
Ain't gonna be no love. You're right.
Ain't gonna be no love for love.
Yeah.
It's just they could be a complete team if that offense could get off the mat. I mean, they got a really ugly offense, but Watt and those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they come to play. And I think they understand that they have an offense that's not going to be the ones that's going to carry the weight on the back of them as a unit. And I think they understand that. And I think that's one reason why they're so intense. And, I mean, these guys are playing some good ball defensively. Mm-hmm. They find ways to win. Those good teams find ways to win. And if they even make the playoffs, talking about Pittsburgh, that's just another feather in the cap of Mike Tomlin, as far as I'm concerned, because I'm really surprised at how that young quarterback really hasn't developed by now. He's still young, but in the preseason, he was slinging it. He was slinging it in the preseason. I thought, well, shoot, this young kid, Pickens, that's his name, Pickett.
Pickett, Kenny Pickett.
He's coming along. He knows that stadium because he played there in college. The whole thing, everything in Pittsburgh about him, he should be in a much better position than he is right now. So it's going to be a good game, but I think defense is the one that pulls it out for them again.
Yep, so I agree with that. So, again, those are our noon kickoff games. Now, 3:05 p.m. kickoffs, we got the Falcons at the Cardinals. According to reports, Kyler Murray will be making his appearance. He will be starting today versus the Falcons. And we have the Lions at the Chargers. The Lions is quietly being one of the – you know how I feel about the Lions. They're my NFC North. But I got to get that team right there, man. They're going to sneak up on some people. But I think the Chargers is going to give them a little bit to deal with today. What's your thoughts on both those games, Mike?
You know what? I don't think Detroit's sneaking up on nobody. Everybody knows about Detroit now. They understand. And they come out the gate to beat Kansas City. That was an opening day game. But from that point on, they've shown that that's not a fluke. I think they're going to beat the Chargers. I don't trust the Chargers. I don't trust that coach. I do not trust that coach. He leaves too many points on the board still. You'd think he'd had his lesson learned by now. And I know what's his name, Justin Herbert. He's done some good things, but he ain't won. They keep trying to put him on this pedestal and see, and that's not his fault that the league puts him on the pedestal or the those who are hyped and getting the names out of these guys. He hasn't lived up to the hype. And I'm a big Keenan Allen fan, but it's rare to see him play a full season. So I'll hold out and see if he can do that.
Can't stay on the field.
Can't stay on the field. Yeah. So, but I'm gonna go with the Chargers losing this game.
Okay, and I'm gonna go with the Chargers pulling off the upset on that one, and I'm gonna go with the Falcons beating the Cardinals. I think Kyler Murray. I don't know. It's going to be his first game back. It's going to be a little rough. So I think the Falcons will find a way. Even though I don't know if Desmond Ridder is going to be starting for the Falcons. He got pulled last game.
Well, I'll tell you what. If for all the issues they have with Kyler Murray, not studying the playbook, playing too much video games, if he comes out and win this game, his first game back after being out for a while, they ain't going to be able to tell him nothing.
Yeah, you're right about that.
They ain't going to be able to tell him nothing.
Yeah. He gonna have some more. He gonna buy some more video games for that PS5. I'm sure. So he gonna be his controller gonna be wore out. So we'll see with that. Now let's get down. Go ahead.
I agree. I agree.
Let's get to the 3:25 kickoffs. We got obviously the NFC East showdown. The Giants at the Cowboys, as well as we got the Commanders at Seattle. Seattle coming off that big, but they threw they laid an egg against the Ravens. Was it 37-7 last week? I think Seahawks lost to the Ravens.
But you know what?
Let's talk about the Giants at the Cowboys.
Okay, here we go. Well,
go ahead, Mike.
Their quarterback is an undrafted rookie. He's won the Harlan Hill Award at D2 ball, which is the equivalent of the Heisman. He didn't win it last year. I think he won it 2 years ago. Name is Tommy DeVito. if the
You
Cowboys
talking about
defense,
the Giants, the starting quarterback for the
Giants starting
right?
quarterback, Tommy DeVito, talking about him.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
if the Cowboys defense lives up to their expectations, he'll be changing his name to Danny DeVito and want to go into acting because he don't want no parts of this. Now that's what it's supposed to look on paper. Now they're 15 and a half point favorites. I couldn't wait to say that. They're 15 and a half point favorites. But so for the satisfaction of the fans, they got to win by more than 10. If they win by 8 points, that's not a win. That's a W.
That's not a win. But
it's not a win of conference.
I think this is a trap game for the Cowboys because I still think they hanging over from that Eagles game. I still think they hung over from that game, and I think they coming in here taking these Giants lightly because of DeVito being the starting quarterback, and they're gonna play like crap the first half. Watch what I say.
And they haven't seen what DeVito can do. There's a little small sample size. Like he got in last week, but he didn't start. And even he said there's a whole lot of difference when you're the starter versus just being thrown into the fire. And he said, I heard supposedly it's a good venue to play. I'm like, dude, see now if I was Mike McCarthy, I'd play that clip. So he said supposedly it's a great venue to play in. That right there should get the Cowboys like, oh, he about to find out how great of a venue it is to play here. Because we don't lose games at AT&T, but they don't. That's not how they operate. But like I said, you don't know a thing about this quarterback. And he might pull some stunts on you to embarrass y'all. I mean, we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. They're winning. They're going to win.
Yeah, but to me,
they got to win by more than 10.
I think this might be an ugly win, but we'll see what happens. Jesse J says, can we give Russell Wilson this process smashing the Chiefs? We did, Jesse J. You missed the show. I did give Russell Wilson this props. That was a couple of weeks ago. So, we did talk about that.
Where you been, Jesse J?
Jesse J. I'm glad you dropping in, but we gave the Broncos their props. Yeah, we did. Any given Sunday, anybody can beat anybody. Jesse also says calling him Danny DeVito is funny, laughing at you, Mike. And then my man Bucks, Rays, and Bolts. Who we got? The Bucks or Titans? I got the Titans in that. Bucks, Rays, Bolts. I think this Will Levis kid. I think the Titans may have found him a quarterback. What you think, Mike?
I think you're right, and they believe it too because old boy's sitting on the sidelines now. And it's about time for him to move over anyway. I mean, Will he didn't fall into their lap, but because the other quarterback, Malik, he's kind of like a forgotten guy,
Guy now. Yeah, I was thinking that. Right.
He's a forgotten guy, and I'm not blaming the Titans. I mean, he's had a chance to really step up and show what he can do with a limited opportunity, just like Will Levis did. Now, if Will hadn't showed up the way he had, Tannehill be right back at the number one quarterback spot. But they're like, hey, listen, why we messing around? Why we pussyfooting? This guy is the guy. Let's go with him. Let's ride with him. So good for them and good for Will because, he came in with a lot of hype going to the draft. And, it was one of those stories where it just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. The camera's always on him and whatnot. And, so I think his fortunes have become better because of what he's been able to show what he can do. Because I think his first game, he threw 4 touchdown passes. The first game he started.
So. Yeah.
I mean, he had multiple touchdown passes. So I know I like him. I like this kid, and I like the Titans.
So that's our mid-window games. Then our Sunday night game, we got the Jets at the Raiders tonight on NBC. That's at 7:20. Then the Monday night game, the Broncos. Again, your Russell Wilson, Jesse J. at the Bills. The Bills are underperforming. I think they've probably been one of the more disappointing teams thus far this season. So that's the Monday night game on ESPN. So let's move on to another hot topic that jumped off this week. Mike, I don't know if you saw LeBron James. I don't know if you saw that tweet. I guess it's still called tweets. I know it's X now. I don't know if you call them tweets when you post it or whatever it's called. Right. Well, LeBron caused a stir and had sports opinionists about to lose their damn mind this week when he said, basically, I'm just paraphrasing, that regardless if he would have went to the Miami Heat, he would have been a dominant player no matter where he was from start to finish. And again, the Stephen A. Smiths, by surprise, Shannon Sharp, actually, I was shocked that he went against, because you know he's a big LeBron fan and he's his GOAT. He went at LeBron about him basically saying that because he felt like he was being disrespectful to the Miami Heat organization. Mike, what's your whole thoughts on this LeBron and his anointing himself, I am the chosen one? As you can see, you can read that tweet there as well. What's your thoughts on this LeBron James in his comments?
You know, let somebody else say you the chosen one. Don't you say it. You know, I mean, Superman, although he's just a comic strip hero, superhero, he didn't say I'm the baddest man on the planet. He just went out and just did it. And everybody else said that's the baddest man on the planet. And so, I mean, that's LeBron. I'm not hating him for saying it or anything like that, but that's just LeBron's way. We're not surprised that he would say that, you know. And if he believes it, there's nothing wrong with that. If he believes that, that's what he believes. I just think it's a deal where when you have the argument or the debate about Michael or LeBron, that's just another reason why it's going to be Michael. You know, Michael's never said that because he hadn't had to say it. Everybody else around him says it. And I don't think he may have still been dominant, but he wouldn't have gotten some championships.
See that was Mike. That's my whole take. I didn't have a problem with LeBron saying that, and I don't have a problem with this tweet. The deal I said was, and I did something on this. I said he wouldn't. I said the thing is that until he went to Miami and won those 2 chips, he would not have been in the conversation about greatest of all time. He would have been a dominant player no matter where he went.
No matter where.
But if he didn't win a chip, he would have just been another dominant player. Because how many dominant players have we had in the NBA and across sports? There's been a lot of them. And a lot
don't
of
have
them
a ring
that didn't win them chips either. So I didn't really have a problem with that. I don't know why everybody just got up in arms about it. I'm like, I can see where he's coming from. And I'm not a big LeBron guy. I'm not a LeBron hater. He's not my GOAT. But if he's your GOAT, anybody else's GOAT, that's cool. He's not mine. I think he's one of the greatest, but I can't give him the GOAT title. I just can't.
Just let somebody else pat him on the back. That's how you do that. I mean, you know. I mean, it's like years ago when Jabbar was complaining about. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike. You good? No, you good.
No, Sam, I remember years.
Kareem was complaining.
I remember years ago when Jabbar was complaining about there's not a statue over at the Forum when it was called the Forum back in the day. He was complaining about that, and I'm like, dude, you Jabbar, you don't. People recognize that you need to have a statue, but you can't be the one to say it.
I agree.
You cannot be the one to say that. You got to let somebody else come to your rally, come to your cause in a situation like that. You know,
Jesse asked us, where do we rank LeBron on our all-time great list, Mike?
He's top 5
on your list. Where do you have him at?
4.
Okay. Who's the 3 ahead of LeBron on your list?
I got Jabbar. I got Mr. He's passed away here.
Bill Russell.
Boston Celtic. Bill Russell. This escapes me. Bill Russell, Mike, LeBron. Hold on, make 5. LeBron is 5. Kobe's 4.
Okay, so you got them in order. So who was your? You got
Jabbar,
Kareem at 1. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Okay,
I got Jabbar at 1.
I got LeBron at 6. I got MJ at 1. I got Kareem at 2. I got Bill Russell at 3. I got Magic at 4. And I got Kobe at 5.
Okay.
That's my list, Jesse.
Who you got 1? Who you got 1? You got Mike at 1?
I got MJ 1. I got MJ 1. I got Kareem 2. I got Bill Russell 3. I got Magic at 4. And I got Kobe at 5. Then I got LeBron at 6.
And see, and here's the thing about that. Both of our lists. It's like the auto industry. Okay, maybe, and this is hypothetical. I don't know who's number 1 auto dealer selling cars.
Right.
But let's say if it's Ford and Chevrolet. If Ford's number 1, Chevrolet's still in the conversation because they making money too.
Yeah, exactly. They all great. They're all
great. They all
right.
great. You
right.
know, they all in. They up there. They up there. And,
right.
But LeBron's the only one, as far as I can see, that complains about people not agreeing that he's the guy. Nobody else.
And his fans.
Right.
I look at LeBron like I look at the Dallas Cowboys. I don't dislike the Dallas Cowboys. It's their fans that's annoying.
It's the fans.
Just like LeBron. It ain't LeBron that annoys me. Most of the time it's his fans. Now, some of the stuff LeBron says, sometimes it annoys me. He's like the chosen one. I think that's a God complex. But again, I don't know if I think the media kind of gave him that too, because, when he was on Sports Illustrated when he was in high school, I think they had the chosen one was on there.
Well, he has reason to believe that.
And that's okay. Yeah. But again, like you said, let other people say that.
Yeah, well,
in my opinion. But.
No, exactly. And you're right about the fans. Now, since they're a part of the sports world today, another set of annoying fans are the Swifties. And they're part of the conversation now. They get on my nerves too. All right. So
that's a whole nother set of problems. Travis Kelce didn't open up for us. Gee whiz. Yeah. Yeah. So so that my thing is, again, I don't know why that was such a big deal, but everybody just went bonkers over that LeBron tweet. Jesse says prayers up for Kelly Aubrey. Yeah, he was released from the hospital today too, by the way.
Yeah, he's hit by a car. Wasn't he hit by a car?
Yeah, he was by a car. Yeah. Yeah. Love y'all list. Yes, LeBron fans are annoying like the Cowboys fans. Jesse
are.
They right. They are, Jesse.
The Cowboy fans are a good job, good insight, because for as least as many Super Bowl championships they have, they scream the loudest. They
scream the loudest, bro.
They scream the loudest. They do. And so yeah.
So that was one of the biggest hot takes of this week. Now we're gonna move on to boxing. We moving to boxing, and boy, this is a lot of people didn't really talk about this, but I did, because I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
My guy, Terence Crawford, pound for pound, best fighter in the world. He defeated Errol Spence Jr. back in July, dominated him, by the way. Well, the IBF stripped him of his title. You heard that right. The IBF, they stripped him of his title a couple of days ago because they don't honor rematch clauses, what I was reading in the IBF. And they wanted him to negotiate his fight with Jaron Boots Ennis, who was the #1 contender. And they weren't able to get it done, but he had a rematch clause. He has to fight Errol Spence Jr., and I think that fight is going to happen in February of 2024, some of the reports I read. So, Mike, what you think about Terence Crawford no longer now being the undisputed welterweight champions of the world? You there, Mike? You there, Mike?
He can't.
Okay, go ahead. You in and out, but go ahead. You going in and out. Keep on talking. Yeah, you going in and out. I'm gonna remove. Yeah, you going in and out. I'm gonna remove you
as far as I can see.
See if you can come back in.
Isn't that part of the contract situation? But the IBF, they don't recognize from understand. Boxing has been. Oh, you bet. Yeah, because you were freezing up on me.
Oh, I was freezing up on you. Okay. From what I hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But I got what you were saying. From what I can tell, it's a contractual situation. Mm-hmm. It's not him doing anything. It's all about he has an obligation for a rematch with Spence, but the IBF, from what I understand, they don't recognize mandatory defense rules or contract obligations, so they're going to just pull him out. But you give yourself bad publicity when you do that.
Yeah.
As the IBF, that's the ones that strip somebody of a title because they didn't play by their rules. I mean, going in, you would have thought the IBF would before the first fight with he and Spence, Crawford and Spence. Hey, listen, you probably got a situation where you're obligated for a rematch. That's cool, Let's find a way to work around it. I mean, they had nobody talked to nobody, from the sounds of it, and they just snatched it from him. And
well, the IBF seemed like they was bullying. Seemed like they was.
Right.
Mike. Let's be honest. The boxing has a reputation of being kind of shady. These promoters and all that. That's that's the only thing. So, in my opinion, I think it was kind of shady. Especially, wait a minute. They already made a rematch clause between Crawford and Spence Jr.
Right.
He can't breach that. But now you're gonna strip him of his belt and then just go hand Boots Ennis the belt now. I wonder how does Ennis feel about that now. They just basically had.
Well, I think I saw a quote from him saying some folks who are ranked don't want to fight him or something like that. Maybe they didn't want to fight him when he was the interim. Because now that he is the guy, he's like, okay, let's see what their excuses are now. Boxing a long time ago painted themselves in this corner that you fight so-and-so, and then your next fight's going to be with this guy, and we'll get you a it's all contingency plans. And that's how the IBF is treating this, because they're going to need Crawford. They going for a gate. They're going to need him, the misunderstanding. Yeah. And when you have an IBF champ, how can Ennis be the interim champ? He got moved up. It's like being an assistant coach. Assistant coach, he got moved up. But it's like, and they said they should have had an interim when Spence was down after that car accident. And all of that. So even the chairman, the president, he said that's on me. So even they have issues among themselves about how they handle business. They're very messy about it.
Yeah, they were very messy with this, Mike, and I don't think I don't think Crawford has already been talks about. This Spence Jr. fight is probably going to be at 154, is what they're saying.
Right,
and then after that, I've been reading that he's probably going to look to move up to 168 and try to fight Canelo. So him even going back down to fight Ennis, that if people think that's going to happen, that ain't going to happen.
It don't seem like it's going to happen. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's just water under the bridge. So again. Terence Crawford, the former undisputed welterweight champion, was stripped of his IBF belt, but according to reports, he's getting ready to fight Spence Jr. In February. We don't know where that's going to be located at. I'm assuming it'll probably be back in Vegas. Don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Again, like Mike said, man, the IBF was just being petty, and they ain't even have to do it that way. To be honest with you, in my opinion.
Well,
we'll go from there. This last story, go ahead, Mike.
No, so the operative word is disputed and undisputed. They put that language in so they can use it that way. Right. Nah, he ain't undisputed. We're disputing that. And that's just the way it comes out.
Right.
They're living up to it. They're living up to it.
Right. All right, our last story. I hate to leave out on the sad note, and we'll try not to. We had a tragic story happen in Houston early Saturday morning. 3 former Houston Cougar football players were, as well as they were among 6 people that were killed in a car accident early Saturday morning in Houston. Matter of fact, DJ Hayden, the young man on the left, was a first-round draft pick of the Raiders back in 2013. He played 9 seasons in the league. He played for the Raiders, the Commanders, the Jaguars, and the Lions. And the young man to the right, Zach McMillian, he was a cornerback for the University of Houston Cougars. And he was like a CEO for some big company there. He didn't play the NFL, but he moved on and was doing some good things. And then an offensive lineman for the Houston Cougars, RaP, was also killed in this car accident. According to reports, the football players were in a SUV, an Acura SUV, and a person driving a Chrysler 300 at a high rate of speed ran a red light and hit the football players, as well as another football player that was in that vehicle with them, their former teammate. He survived, and another young lady died as well. So it was 6 people that died altogether, Mike. I don't know if you saw this story, but man, what a tragic story.
Well, it's a situation. There's never a good time for something like this, but it's always extra when we enter the holidays when something like this happens, because it's not a holiday for those families. I mean, they're not. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't celebrate Thanksgiving. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't celebrate Christmas.
Right.
It's just because of what they're dealing with. they're having an out of body experience right now, and condolences and prayers to those families. Now, the driver, did he survive?
It was a female, and no, she died. That was an update that I saw this morning. I tried to find an update. So the driver of that Chrysler 300 was a woman. She died as well. So it was a total of 6 people that died.
Yeah, she must have really been flying. She must have really been. She
must have really been flying because I listened to the Houston police official, and they only how after it happens you only get little small bits and pieces of details. They don't know it all at that point. And but they did say that Chrysler 300 was traveling at a high rate of speed. Jesse says, "Dang, Dwayne Haskins and now him. What's wrong with people in their driving?" Yeah, Jesse. It's just then again, Mike, you brought up a good point, man. We're looking at Thanksgiving next week. Now these families are going to have to try to figure out how to move on if they even try to celebrate.
It's going to be tough to pivot. This is hard. This is hard to pivot.
Right.
It really is.
It's hard to pivot. So again, our condolences do go out. Our prayers to the Houston Cougars family, as well as these young men, their families, and the other people that lost their lives in that accident as well. We send our condolences to them. So, all right, Mike, we're getting down to the end of our show. Just kind of, final thoughts or something you want to bring up that we didn't talk about. What's your final thoughts?
What's going? No, I think, like I said, I think the NFL hasn't really been that exciting to me this year. And maybe probably because the Buffalo Bills ain't playing the way the Buffalo Bills we've come to watch them play. You know? And then the Chiefs, they're winning, but we're not for that fumble by Tyreek Hill. No, if we're not for that fumble. I mean, Tyreek Hill was the MVP for the Chiefs, last week. Whatever. But smart play by the defender, Edwards, I think is what it was, and lateraled the ball to his teammate who was running. That cat was running. 21-14. Right. But it was really, for me, it was really an anticlimactic game. So I just want to see how the second half of the season unrolls. I thought the Cowboys played a good game last week. And yeah, I know referees, you don't talk about referees, but hey, you know what? You had a whole first and second half to make up for anything that might be referee related. Yeah. Right. So I can't fall all the way in on that. And so I just want to see some teams pick it up a little bit. You mentioned earlier, Baltimore. I think that might be the team we need to watch for as they kind of step things up, and the San Francisco-Jacksonville game is probably the marquee game of the day. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's what we're going to do. And I'll be sitting here. My wife and I are going to celebrate our Thanksgiving today because she goes back to Massachusetts tomorrow. So we're doing Thanksgiving and I'm thankful for her. So we're doing Thanksgiving and anniversary all in one. And been dying to try out this Popeye's turkey, so we're gonna see what it's about. I've been every time in the past I've tried to get it. Oh, we're out. You out again? But because this is so early for us, they got plenty of them. And I got one. I'm gonna see how it works out. But the thing is, I wouldn't be upset if they out of turkey because Popeyes don't normally carry turkey. Now, if them Negroes out of chicken, then we got issues. When they first came up with those sandwiches,
right.
Those chicken sandwiches. I would go through and say, out again? Man, y'all ain't never got no chicken sandwiches when I come through. I'd be mad. But then once I got it, it's okay. I'm going to stick with the chicken. The sandwiches are okay.
Jesse J, great show. He says, great show. Keep it up. See y'all next Sunday. Jesse J, all right, man, JJ. Appreciate you dropping in. Make sure you subscribe to the channels too. TFG Sports Media, Kendrick Sports Hustle. Make sure you follow my guy, Michael Coleman. At kltv.com. He's the sports director there. And happy early Thanksgiving to you as well, Jesse J. Before I let you out of here, Mike, you got to tell us about the high school playoffs. What we got? What we looking at for us?
Well, the Longview Lobos are always there. This is their 23rd year in a row going to the playoffs. And not Mike McCarthy, although Coach King reminds me of McCarthy in the Bills.
He does. Now that you mentioned it, you're right.
Coach John King, he was an assistant coach for 3 of those 23 years before he became the head coach. So for him, it's like 20 straight. But he told me, he said, back in 97, 98, 99, we didn't make the playoffs. So there was a time where they didn't go to the playoffs, but they set the standard. So they're still in it. Carthage is Carthage. I was surprised that White House got beat. They got beat, so their season's over. but the Chapel Hills and the Kilgores are all still in the hunt. A really good game is Beckville and Garrison Thursday night. I think it can be played in Longview. These two teams that the small Dynamo 2A powerhouses with some really good ball. And a testament to these teams of smaller schools, they don't have the numbers, they don't have the depth to keep winning, but somehow the Timpsons and the Beckvilles, and they still find a way to do it. I got to give kudos to Tyler Legacy. I mean, yeah, they went in with a 2-3 district record, but they were only down 7-0 at the half to Wiley East for losing, like I think 23-19 or something like that.
Okay, that was a tight one. That ended up being tight.
Under their first year coach. Of course, Tyler didn't make it, but I think Coach Woods made some great inroads with that program. They went 6-4, and in my show tonight, I do a 1-year recap. Talk to me about your summary of your season, what you think. So that'll be on my show tonight at 10:00. So still balling. We got we're going into week 2 of the playoffs for high school ball, and it's going to get crazy, man. Because I think Chapel Hill, Lindale, and Kilgore are all on a collision course.
All right, Mike. Well, if you don't know, we're in Texas. We're in the east side of Texas. This is East Texas, and East Texas football is king. And that's what we're talking about. High school playoffs are going into the second round. And Michael Coleman is the sports director at the ABC affiliate at KOTV in Tyler. So make sure, if you haven't already, go to your app store and get that app, KOTV, KTRE, the Red Zone app. You can get, if you don't know about high school football here, you can go find out a whole lot from that app. So go check it out. So, Mike, appreciate you, man, for dropping in.
Man. Always, brother.
I said happy anniversary. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day, brother.
Thank you, bro.
And we will see you on the other side, all right?
My man.
All right,
keep it up.
All right. My bro. All right. That was, again, if you didn't know, now you know, that was my main guy, Michael Coleman, KOTV sports director at the ABC affiliate here in Tyler, Texas. And so if you haven't, you can follow him at KOTV.com. He does the sports there. And go get that Red Zone app, KOTV, KTRE, in the app store. So, again, we're about to get out of here. Again, I am Kendrick, sports guy with TFG Sports Media. I'm thankful for Jesse for dropping in. First time watching. I'm glad you liked it, man. Keep coming through. Subscribe to the channel. We had another viewer, the Bucks, Rays, and the Bolts, I believe, that dropped in. Appreciate you dropping in. So, again, you guys, I hope you enjoy your NFL Sunday. So, again, make sure you like and subscribe to the channels. Make sure you like and follow TFG Sports Media and Kendrick Sports Hustle on Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook at Kendrick Roline Henderson. And you also can follow me on Instagram. That's KDRICK 1969. And you can follow me on TikTok. That's Kendrick Henderson 51. So, again, NFL Sunday, Week 10. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Got some football coming on here in about an hour and 15 minutes as far as the noon games. Again, the Colts are up on the Patriots 7-6 with like 9 minutes and 5 seconds left over in Germany. Again, I am Kendrick, the sports guy. We will see you on the other side. And on the next report, I am out. Peace.